What's going on, you guys? My name is Don't Panic 494, and today we've got a little bit of Rush on Grand Bazaar. Originally, I was gonna do a little capture the flag, but then I remembered. Alas, here we sit. I think I'm gonna continue to avoid CTF like it's the Black Plague until they make it, which they never will, clearly, that dirt bikes can't get hit by anti-tank weapons. I'm just in utter disbelief that this isn't a bigger issue for everybody that plays Battlefield. Like, to me, this is like a USAS frag from vanilla type of issue. It makes the game unplayable. Like, you shouldn't be able to lock on to a dirt bike with a javelin or from a tank missile on your helicopter. Absolutely insane. But, whatever, that's fine. We'll go back to vanilla, do a little rush. These maps are awesome and super fun to play anyways, so I'm not that mad about it. You guys ever have one of those days where, like, no matter how well you're playing, you just physically cannot string together a series of wins? It's just impossible, like, whether it be your teammates being totally oblivious to everything, or something as simple as you guys not meshing well as a group when your opponents are. You just can't string together a win. That was this day, the day that I recorded this footage. Like, no matter what, I could not string it together. If you notice, this is the first sign that things were going to go downhill. Right here, I was like, okay, so everyone is running ammo, so I'm going to go ahead and change that when I die. And I'm sure people will follow suit there. Ammo's not even the most important perk. That's like third on my list. So, I'm going to go ahead and change mine right now because I just died. You know, I'm not even going to think about it anymore. I'm sure they're going to notice. I'm sure they're going to change it. It happens to everybody. We've all spawned in when we're stacking perks, but they'll catch on eventually. So, I just kind of forget about it. Put it on my head. Keep covering this one lane here, the back door to Bravo, so that teammates inside just have to worry about that one doorway. You have to be cautious when you're back here of nades from the defenders, because it's a very effective spot. I mean, as you can see, look at how my teammates are just clustered right there. It's free kills for defense all day. Take a look.
Damn.
Free kills all day. So this map's not nearly as bad as like Metro. Metro is terrible with like the explosive spam and the choke points and everything. This map does have choke points and you do have to watch for explosives and stuff. But it's much easier to move around. There are at least a couple flank routes that are a little bit more open and you've got some options on where you can go. These first couple MCOMs, it may not seem that way because you've got the one street right here, which is itself a choke point. And then you've got that tunnel, which you should also avoid like the plague because that's where everybody goes to die, essentially. Somehow people do, on attack, do manage to break through there, but I want no part of it. I'll let them kill themselves 850 times just to push up 30 feet into that tunnel. I'm really hoping Battlefield 4 rush balance is a little bit better than Battlefield 3 rush balance. Granted, the vanilla BF3 maps are, by and large, very good. Not a fan of launching from a carrier on the attacking team, because I feel like that is an enormous disadvantage, but obviously, they're reworking naval combat a little bit. It seems like it's going to be a lot easier to get from a carrier to land if they do implement that again. But, like, take Endgame Rush. You've got maps that you have to walk through, like, a death cavern in order to get to the MCOMs. Like, there's no way to get through unless you get lucky. Defenders can just sit way back as recon and just pick everybody off. I feel like 75% of the time that I play Endgame Rush, it's just an open field that separates a wall of snipers from a wall of attackers trying to get to the MCOMs, and usually failing. And it's like infinity times worse when you're playing on a 64-player server. On 32-player servers, there's always holes, there's always ways to sneak around, so it makes it a little bit easier. But on a map like Riverside on Rush, even with 32 players, that first like canyon you have to run through is so hard to clear. It's just lined with snipers and lined with people with assault rifles, and they're gonna drop you before you even see them. I'm very optimistic though that these type of map balance issues are not gonna be there in Battlefield 4. You know, from what I've seen in the past and from what the developers have been saying about Battlefield 4, they're considering it like the perfect Battlefield game so far. They also mentioned specifically that they're considering it a merger between the Bad Company series and their standard series. So, obviously I'm a huge fan of Bad Company. I love the gameplay. I think the map balance issues that we're seeing in Battlefield 3 were not present in Bad Company 2, so I'm really hopeful that we're not going to see issues like that in Battlefield 4. Obviously, there are going to be times where something's going to be slanted one way or the other. I'm just hoping the balance issues don't revolve around the maps, because that's so much harder for them to hotfix. I mean, it's pretty much impossible for them to hotfix, depending on what the issue is, but, you know, if a gun is OP, or if a spawn point is, you know, terrible or gives you a huge disadvantage, that's something they can tweak. But if it's the design itself that needs to be fixed, that's, you know, you're not going back from that. That's just going to be a map that no one's going to play. So we'll see. End of the day, I'm still very confident that Battlefield 4 is going to be a phenomenal game, and I'm just going to stick with that until I see any evidence to the contrary. Unfortunately, I did not get the email I was anxiously awaiting, being invited into the alpha. I'm pretty sure at this point it's never going to come. So, I think I'm going to be waiting until the open beta, or I guess it's going to be closed beta at first, and they're going to open it slowly. But, I mean, I have Premium. I've had Premium since Premium came out. I also have Battlefield 4 Deluxe pre-ordered. I did that the day it came out. So I'm hoping that if they do tier the beta access, I'll be on the earlier side of it. My guess is that's how it's going to work, just from the betas that I've done in the past. So, as soon as I get in, I'll feel a lot more comfortable with making statements about the game. Even still, like, there are people posting, obviously, some facts and stuff from the alpha footage. Some of the YouTubers have access to do that stuff. I don't. I've seen some of it, but still, like, it's alpha, and it's all going to change. There's so much that's going to change. Obviously, the basic stuff, like, you know, the way the loadout system works probably isn't going to change, but gun balance is going to change. The way each map plays with different game modes, you know, you're not seeing all that. That's all going to change depending on the game mode. So, we'll see. At this point in the round we're watching, I just suggest to my squad, hey guys, check your perks. We're still got 2 guys running ammo, like bosses. And we've got 1 dude that is either too low level for a squad perk, or he has no idea what's going on. So we're now about 7.5 minutes into the round, and the 2 guys that have been running ammo the whole game with me, who, by the way, I was the first person to spawn into the game. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. These 2 cats that still have ammo, have had it the whole game, they're clearly not paying attention, so, you know, at that point you gotta point it out. And again, some people, maybe if they're new to Battlefield, you know, maybe they're wrapped up in something and aren't paying attention, it happens. It happens to me. I've, you know, perk stacked for a long period of time before, which is why the communication is key. You know, you don't have to be rude, just like, hey, check the perk stack. That's all I said, perk stack. And, you know, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, at this point in the day, I had lost approximately 39 games in a row. It was just a bad day of Battlefield for me. And, like, I'm not playing poorly. It's just the team won't win, like, no matter what. I'm trying to do everything I can to support. I'm trying to do everything I can to keep pushing up. And when we were on defense, it's the same thing. I'm trying to hold my lanes, just like it never got strung together. And these squad mates with the perk stack is just like the straw that broke the camel's back. For some reason, it was making me so mad. As you can see, I continue to just suggest, and then it kind of evolves into me just berating them for a portion of the round. But, you know, it has to happen sometimes. That's why we have chat, right? There's no point in having chat if you can't act like a tough guy on it, so. Trying to string it together again. Like, I'm optimistic at this point, slightly, because we're still arming objectives. We've got like 50 tickets left. You know, we do keep pushing up pretty well. I'm thinking to myself, I'll be damned if these guys are going to ruin the game for me. And here I'm trying to say, don't stack, come on! And I just, before I can hit send, I end up just being like, screw it. And as you can notice, like, it's always via a death that I am provoked into typing again. Because, like, I'm pushing up, I'm trying to make it happen, I'm trying to string it together. And, like, out of nowhere, I just get crushed. I'm just like, you know what, I am going to bring it up again. Stop stacking the goddamn perks! You're ruining the game for everybody! You know, we've all had those games, we've all had those experiences. It happens. Gotta blame it on somebody. It's clearly not me. I'm doing fine, but we're still losing. It's just tough because you know the reason that you're losing is because the defending team, or the opposing team rather, is just meshing better than you, and the fact that these squad mates are perk stacking is like, this is why we're not meshing, nobody's paying attention, no one's communicating. I've been with this band of brothers in this server for multiple games now, and I'm just seeing it every round. Like, the other team is just meshing, and we're not meshing. So, again, I really thought I had so much hope for this game because we got started with so much momentum. We were pushing so hard and so fast. And even still, we got 37 tickets. We still have a good shot here. Like, despite the fact that we're making a lot of weird mistakes, we're getting caught in some weird bottlenecks and stuff, I still think we can move up. And then I realized, look at how far up they're pushed now. Like, that, we should be owning that room. We were owning that room, and then we failed to keep that room. That's when it goes downhill, because now it's a crazy uphill battle to get back over there. You have to take this inside room here, that whole corridor, and you have to take the street lane, and we're pushed back on both. Like, look at how far back we're pushed here. I peek because I'm like, there's no way we can't move up a little bit here. And I peek and I peek and I get owned as soon as I turn the corner. So it's like, we just lost, 100 meters of ground. And this is the point where, like, I don't know if you can get it back. And don't get me wrong, you have to keep playing until the last ticket is gone. Just try to forget about the fact that they're pushed up so far, there's no way for you to advance anymore. But at least I didn't pull out my M16, which I have definitely done in the past in situations like this where I know we need a miracle to advance. I probably should have in hindsight. But, it is what it is. You can't win them all, and this just happened to be one of those days where you can't win any. But we've got some light at the end of the tunnel. It's almost July, which means I'll be playing, hopefully, the Battlefield 4 beta very soon. I still don't think there's an actual release date, but if I remember from Battlefield 3, it was sometime in July that the beta started. I don't know if they're on schedule or behind schedule or ahead of schedule, so can't be sure yet. But, by August, I would assume, I'll be playing some beta. And we'll go from there. From what I understand, too, is they're going to open it up for content providers, so I should be able to give you guys beta footage as soon as I'm in the beta. Definitely don't know that for sure yet, but again, that's just kind of past experience. That's probably how it's going to work again. DICE is one of those proponents of that kind of thing, so I don't expect that to change anytime soon. And then before you know it, BF4 is going to be out, and then everyone will be playing it, and everyone will be high-fiving and eating candy together, which is awesome. And look at this critical error here. So our tank did successfully push up and help get Bravo armed, but then it just sat there and got annihilated. And at this point, everybody that was in a position to guard that bomb along with the tank are all destroyed. So the defenders can kind of just defuse casually and then have a tea party for the rest of the game while they pick off one or two people that sprint out to the open and try to arm the bomb. It was a valiant effort. Gave it our best, but I guess your best isn't good enough. Hearing the round-ending game music cue up, I feel like this is a good time to thank you guys very much for watching the video. Be sure to leave me some feedback, give it a like if you enjoyed it, leave me some comments if you have anything specific or want to make any requests for a future video. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out and spending a few minutes out of your day with me, and I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.